Yes, what's up, everybody? Today we have a special guest at More Kings, More Queens Entertainment. Joining us today, we have the Khidd Kinetic.
What's happening? Yay!
Known for the horns, hot song, doing major numbers. So we just coming to chat it up. He in town, so just trying to let you guys know a little bit more about him, because you guys seen a performance, at the studio.
Yes, indeed.
They're doing numbers as well. So what's up, man?
What's happening?
How you been, man?
I'm in euphoria right now.
Okay, what you mean by that? What you mean?
I got this feeling, this overwhelming feeling of euphoria. Like, I feel liberated. I feel free. I feel just like unchained and just loose. Like I'm a wild beast, and they just like letting it out the cage. You know what I'm saying?
Why you feeling like that?
Well, I was locked under some unfortunate commitments for a period of time. I still have a couple things that I'm kind of tied into that I don't really want to be. But I've been able to, and I kind of go through this annual thing where I get rid of toxic relationships. I get rid of anything that's not working for me, that's causing me stress or taking up time that's not being productive, that doesn't have a positive outcome. Get rid of it.
So like
at the beginning of the year. Yeah, cleansing, if you will. So annual cleansing.
Ooh,
yeah.
I like that. Okay.
So I was late this year because I was a little attached to some folks, and I was comfortable in some situations that I shouldn't have been, and I got out of that. I finally got to the point where I was like, all right, and I have to be strategic about things, because when I end relationships with people, especially, I don't want to have bad blood, So I don't want to. I want to make sure I'm not stepping on any toes as I'm exiting the building, if you will. So, yeah, I want to have a graceful, memorable exit, and have people like, that was classy, So that was the goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for people who don't know, let them know a little about you, man. Where you from, a little bit about what you do.
Give them the background, the rundown. Okay,
sure.
So for everybody who don't know, I'm a freestyle artist. I'm a genre-free artist out of St. Paul, Minnesota. I like to claim the whole Twin Cities, because I grew up bouncing around from city to city, all around the Twin Cities, from St. Paul to Minneapolis, Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center. I was literally all over the place. But I was born and raised in St. Paul for the first 6 or 7 years, and then I started to move around a little bit. I found my love in entertainment at a very young age. I think I started getting instruments and stuff for birthdays and Christmas at 7 years old, and that's where the obsession with music came in. But the first thing that I really went for was film, theater.
Okay.
I had a music teacher in elementary school that was like, what was that lady's name? Oh man, I wish I had some of my friends or my siblings that were around that remember that lady's name. Oh damn. I want to say it was Miss Kelly, but she was a music teacher at my school, Eastern Heights, when I went there. I can't even remember the years. I want to say it was 07, 08.
And that's when the first time you got into
theater.
Theater?
Yeah. And so she was like, there's this company, YAI, and they do, theater for, Broadway kind of thing around the cities. You should try it out. I think you'd be great for that. I'm like, okay, cool. The music teacher gives me a little finesse. And I was already doing plays at this, at school.
Okay.
And so she was directing those. And I think that's what made her say that, now I'm thinking about it. I haven't thought about this. You're making me go back. But yeah, so she gave me that, and then I went and did that. I went and did a couple shows. I did Annie. The Broadway Annie.
Yep.
I did that. And I was really good friends with the lead role, the girl who was playing Annie. I was really actually good friends with everybody on the cast. I those people were awesome. The people who ran the company, those people were really cool. So that was a really awesome experience. I ended up playing 3 characters in that whole thing. So I was doing a lot of makeup, wardrobe changes, and all that sort of thing. So it was fun. Like I enjoyed that, and it made me want to go further with that thing. So I'm like, okay, next level. Where do we go next? So I started taking acting classes and.
So you wanted to be an actor?
Yeah,
at the moment? Yeah.
yeah. That was where I was at. Cause I grew up like I have 4 siblings. You could say 2 brothers, 2 sisters, but my older sister is in transition, so my older sister is my older brother now. But so they're all half siblings is my point. So they all spent their time with their other parent, and then or with hanging out with their friends or doing whatever they were doing. So a lot of the time I was alone as a kid, and I was obsessed with movies. Like I was obsessed with the Pirates of the Caribbean series. I would watch that all the time. I was obsessed with Harry Potter, the Lord of the Rings. Like that was my jam. That was where I was at. I loved other stuff too, like comedies like Norbit, Tyler Perry sets, all kinds of different stuff. But I was obsessed with those first 3 I listed. And so that's what made me want to do that. So I went, took acting classes, went to auditions, or doing all kinds of things. But I got into this. I had a contract with this company called John Robert Powers, the John Robert Powers Company.
And what you had to do with what you mean type of contract?
And it basically, what was it, a 1 or 2 year contract where I think I ended up paying or my parents paid I paid because it was money that they had put aside for me to go for college, and I didn't know at the time, but yeah, when I was doing these things, that's where the money was coming from. And when it was all spent up, they were like, go do fundraisers. And I was like, if I could fundraise that kind of money, you know what I mean? Like, come on. So, yeah, that came to a quick halt afterwards. But yeah, it was a 2-year contract where I was able to take acting classes, makeup classes. They were showing you like when you do commercials how to hold a can to where the logo is, how to sip the can, like all these things, how to apply the makeup properly, how to like have the camera angles, how to hold, just every little like
they were teaching all that,
everything. And we were doing improv, and like it was a great experience. So it was definitely worth the $1,500 for the contract. But then there was like another level where where you get to there was 2 levels of auditions. There were the ones where you can come in on the weekends, and they had people who were agents that were coming to the building, and you can audition for those things. And I grabbed a couple of those until I had to figure out a way to get to those things, and I couldn't get to them. But yeah, I definitely was trying to snatch all those up. But then they had another like little situation. It was a big event to where they were flying the kids out to Vegas 1 year, New York another year, and LA another year, and they would cycle it through like that, right? And that was, I think, like another $1,500 to cover the plane ticket, the hotel fee, all those sorts of things.
And how old were you at the time?
I had to have been 11 or 12.
11, 12.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you feel like a Hollywood star a little bit?
A little bit, because part of the promotional campaign to get kids to like get into that, when I was looking at the little pamphlet or whatever that she had given me, was that this is how kids get to Disney Channel. And I was like,
yeah, your way,
man. And I had already had like different offers like for modeling agencies and stuff like that were kind of giving like the same kind of like spin on stuff, and I wasn't able to take those offers. My parents were like, nah, you can't do that. Nah, you can't do that. And this was the first time they were like, all right, yeah. And I was like, wow. So I was like, I thought I was on my way. I really did. Yeah, I remember going back and forth to those classes, even when I was like on the city bus, trapping my own way back and forth. Like I felt great doing that. Like that was awesome. But then it's just like to the point where it's like every stage, it's like, all right, you got to pay up. I just couldn't afford to keep paying up, buying my way to the top. You know what I mean? So I was like, fuck, I got to figure out something else that I could do to where I can express myself creatively, artistically, but I'm not going to have to like fork out like crazy amounts of cash every step of the way.
So what you had to do whenever whenever you switched up?
Well, I like I said, I always had 2 passions. I knew it had to be something in entertainment. That's number one. I was, when it comes to like finding your purpose, like finding myself, I'm like, what am I here to do? What is my purpose? I asked myself that at a young age. I decided at a young age that I had to be successful in entertainment, and in the entertainment industry. That's naturally who I am. I've been told that by family members, by friends, by teachers, by everybody's like, you're gonna be a star someday. And it's like, I can't, you know what I mean? Like, even before I had decided that, I just was hearing that all the time. People would be like, what's your name? And I'd tell them my name. I'm Cassius Jones. And they'd be like, that sounds like a celebrity's name. You know what I mean? Like, first impressions. And so it's like, it's being drilled into my head. Like, the universe is constantly telling me, you're gonna be a star. And so I'm like, okay, that must be what I'm here to do. And I have the talent to do acting. I have the talent to sing, to rap, to write stories, songs, scripts. Like, I've tried it all, and I'm capable of doing it all. I've tried comedy, and I crack myself up, and I make some people laugh. But so it's like I'm definitely supposed to be doing this. I have the skills. The universe has given me the skill set to be able to do this. Now I just have to line up, relationships and meet the right people to be able to put my team together to get to where I'm trying to go.
I got you.
But yeah, at that point where I'm like, all right, forking up the cash, I shifted very quickly to music because I had a laptop, and I was going to school and getting on the school computers. And when we had our I don't know, remember why it wasn't a music class, but I think we had a period of time for some class where we'd be able to go on and just have an hour for GarageBand. And this was in elementary school.
That was in class? Yeah, I had like a
whole hour to just be on GarageBand. I don't remember what the class was. I cannot remember because it was elementary school. But I'm like, man, that was dope. And so, we were assigned to make songs. And so I would sit next to my cousin, and we would, like, compete and stuff. And so one day, my dad had just asked me about, I was already obsessed with it because of that, and I was trying to figure out, okay, how am I gonna, transition into the music? We got the laptop, and my dad just like, you know anything about, like, music software? And I was like, pow, GarageBand, and da-da-da, but we didn't have an Apple laptop. We had HP or Toshiba, actually, I think, but it was Windows. So my dad went and got something that would work for that. And it ended up being Magic's Music Maker. Okay. And he started producing with that. And he showed me how to operate the system, he showed me what he knew how to do. I already pretty much from GarageBand knew how to work the system, but he showed me, like, mixing and engineering things that I was like, oh, okay. And then so we kind of like were feeding off each other, going back and forth producing. And then he brought his older brother, my uncle, in to write raps, right?
Okay.
And so he was getting on the mic, spitting some stuff. Somehow, I was pushed onto the mic, and they're like, you gonna rap too. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna write my own raps. If I'm a rap, I can write my own stuff because I'm a writer. I could do it. I was 12 at this point, about 12 years old. And so I'm like, oh, with the pen, bro, you know what the song was that we wrote? But anyways, back to that story, to a point where we can clip that little section out and still leave something in. But anyways, so we get to writing. Me and my dad on production, me and my uncle on writing. We finished this song and just never had a plan for releasing it because I think my dad and my uncle kind of like, stopped talking as much because my dad had to work more and my uncle had something going on. And so, I was just like, well, I want to keep doing stuff. So I went to my cutting board and kept making more beats. I was doing some hip-hop stuff, but I was more so doing R&B stuff when I got by myself. And I was like writing like, R&B songs, some like pop ballads and stuff like that. I switched up the sound, and somewhere along the line I decided I was recording covers to songs. I was like trying to recreate stuff to get a feel of how to like, mimic sounds to figure out, to know what I'm doing, like what does a song need. And then I was just like, I think I'm ready to put together a little piece of work. So I put together an EP, boom. And then a month later I put together another one, boom.
And how old were you now?
At this point, when I started releasing, I'm 13.
13, okay.
Yeah, 13. This was in 2010.
Okay. So you say you released an EP?
I released an EP on. So basically, my sister had bought me a pack, like a 10 or 25 pack or some shit of some blank CDs, and so I took my 6 songs that I had at the time, and I just burnt them onto those CDs, and then I took them to school and sold them to my friends around the neighborhood. So that kind of release, yeah.
How much you sold them for?
$5.
$5? Yeah.
Yeah.
You say you're 13?
13 years old. I had a business mogul, business mogul mindset,
Okay.
So yeah.
So after that EP, and you got the reaction from the.
Came back with another one a month later. Boom.
Oh, yeah, a month later.
And I had a single. I would pick the best song, and then upload it to YouTube, lyric video. So I bam, new single, new EP.
And what grade
a month
was you?
later, 7th grade, 7th or 8th, middle school.
Okay. Yeah. Was there any other artists doing the same thing you was doing?
No. Nobody was doing what I was doing.
No?
There were people who were singers. There were people who were rappers. But nobody was... Oh, I'm lying. There was a rock band. There was a rock band that had, at the same time that I put out my second EP, they, I think, had just put out their first EP, which was, I want to say it was they did 5 tracks for $3. So we ended up doing a talent show, and we were both on the set list, and that's how I found out about them. And they had their EP. Oh, but at this point, I was on my 3rd project. So they had their
You're
first.
You're still in middle school?
Yeah, this is middle school. So at this point, I was on my 3rd project.
Dang, middle school, man, that's crazy.
I released 3 projects in 6 months. November, first one. December, the second one. January, February, March, April, the 3rd one. Yeah, 3 projects. I was whooping ass, son.
Okay.
I think I was skipping out on homework. I was hitting that studio. My mom was like, you need to make sure you get some sleep, because I'm pretty sure I was doing homework, but I wasn't sleeping. And she was like, you need to make sure you get some sleep so that you can focus in school, because you want to get good grades and blah, blah.
Sure.
I was like, Mom, I don't need school. I'm going to be a star. She was like, don't say that around your sister. And man, I was a bad influence. But no, I wholeheartedly, I was in my head, I'm like, you got to believe. You got to believe in this, or you're not going to get there. If you don't take the time, because it's other than that, who else? If I don't take the time to do this shit on my own and to make it happen quick, who else is going to do it for me? I don't know anybody who does half of what I'm doing, so who's going to help? You know what I mean? So I had no choice. I'm like, I just got to keep doing what I'm doing until I figure out something else, but I got to keep going. I can't stop. I can't wait until I'm an adult, wait until after college and then do music. I'm like, man, Michael Jackson was #1 on the charts at 11 years old. I got to at least have $1 million in the bank by the time I'm 15. You know what I mean? This is at 13. I'm thinking this 2 years. I'm like, I'm gonna be a millionaire in 2 years.
Okay.
I was a fast young boy, son. I was trying to get to it, and I was like, if I can, So my sister, my brother now, Zay, was supposed to be my manager at the time. Bought the CDs, got that first investment.
Oh, yeah,
I was making that money. That? Yeah, I was doing like that. But then he was dating this girl whose aunt owned or managed the theater that I used to perform at.
Okay.
Plug, right? I'm like, see if you can get me a show lined up. See if there's any way. She's like, all right, bet. And she was got in contact with producers that were giving me feedback, but there was never any deals at that point. They were just giving me pointers and stuff, and I never got that deal for that show. That you know what I mean? And I was just like, man, this shit, this is whack. So the shows that I was doing was talent shows at school, you know what I mean? I was getting a lot of talent shows, and I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I was turning that motherfucker out, you know what I mean?
Did you do your own material?
Some folks always, the first, when I was in elementary school, because that's when I started doing talent shows, because, I'm a fool for entertainment. But that's when I first started. I want to say I was in 4th or 5th grade. Is when I started doing talent shows, and every time, boom, boom, that was the highlight. The first year my brother's show, because he had a dance crew, that was the highlight. But once I broke away from him and got to go to my own school, yeah, I was always the highlight of the talent show. So I was like, yeah, killing shit. Except for, I think, when There was one year I bombed. There was one year. There was one year I was not on it, man.
What happened?
I don't know. But I was doing them so back to back consistently that it didn't even matter because I did one bad show. Actually, at one point in high school, what was it, freshman year? I was able to do like 2 or 3 shows that year because they had like a what did they call it? Like there was like a winter talent show, and then they had like the big Floetry showcase, which was supposed to be like a hip hop thing. And then and I was hitting all of those motherfuckers. I bombed the winter thing because I was trying to do a medley of like a blended 2 songs that were not. One was released and the other one wasn't. I don't know why I had a habit of performing unreleased songs, but I was sick, and I was trying to do some pop shit. And do some like perform like I'm a nah.
How many was your?
Oh man.
How many songs were you able to perform?
It was a 5-minute set, but
5 minute set.
I think I morphed 3 songs into that. It was like a mix up mashup kind of thing that I was doing because I had an album on the way and I was trying to promote that. Okay. I had a single out and an album on the way, and so that was the goal. But I don't think people were like, okay, we see what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? But okay. So that passed. I think 2 or 3 months later, we had the big hip hop showcase, and I did some rap shit. I had some dancers with some choreography.
Oh yeah.
And I blended my performance up with Amin's performance, Amin Tahir's performance, and it was like we murdered it. I don't think we got the highlight that year because there was a bunch of other kids. There's this dude Drew Devon who was like. He was Drake at that school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Shout out to Drew. Shout out to Amin.
Shout out to Drew Devon. Shout out to Amin Tahizi. Yeah. Shout out to all the Pure Original. I got to shout out. Hold on. Let me shout out Pure Original. Shout out Royal Black, Purple Queen. Shout out my whole squad. Because them niggas go ham. They slay. You know what I'm saying? So I love that it's POC is the Pure Original clique. Okay, just to put that out there, because some people think it stands for people of color, which is great. I love that they get it confused, because when you think it means people of color and then you remove it from a track when I'm doing a feature with you, fuck you.
Well, people removing
Somebody did that. I'm not gonna say who it was.
Hold on, they removed the POC.
Yeah. When I was doing, you know, when rappers get on a track, they gonna shout out their name. You know what I mean? And then they gonna shout out their clique. Nicki get on a track. Nicki Minaj, Young Money. You know, she does her thing.
Okay.
Young Moolah, babe. Everybody's got their tag. If I do a fucking feature with you, and this is why I don't like to do features. If I do my shit a certain way, you can go ahead and change the mix because you want your song to sound a certain way. Cool. You can turn down the volume on things because you're like, man, that's wild. That's a little wild. Okay, turn the volume down a little bit. Change the mix some. But don't be cutting shit out of my mix. Doing shit like that is what'll make me be like, I don't want to work with you no more. You know what I mean? Because you obviously don't respect my creative mindset. You know what I mean? You'll use me for a verse or two or a whole song or whatever the case, but you don't respect the way that I want to present it. You know what I mean?
So that's how you feel about that?
Hit me, yeah. You want to hit me with a live version of the mix. You know what I mean? Because you got all the stems. So hit me with a live version of the mix so I can perform it the way I want to perform it. Because I don't fuck with the mix that you got now. The first mix you put out was off the chain. The second mix that you did was cool. That whatever the fuck I just heard the other day, fuck you for that. That was no.
Damn.
No. Oh, I don't know what it was that if somebody said something to you, but whatever the case, that was not cool. Fuck you. Our relationship is over. That is not cool. That shit ain't cool. But you know who you are. When you see this, you'll understand and be like, oh, so that's why he don't fuck with me no more. Yeah, that's why. I mean, I'm sure you was probably mad at me about something prior to that, but I don't give a fuck more. But anyways, long story short, I like to make sure that whatever artist I do features with, we have a relationship first, and that we know each other and know how to respect each other before we, start working. Yeah.
Okay. Y'all heard that from the kid himself.
I've had some interesting encounters.
So what you been working on lately?
Well, the Up remix is out.
I know the Horns did major things, so
yeah.
Major numbers. Congratulations to your success with that.
Thank you. That's my anthem right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how'd you come up with that? You know, where'd you get the beat from? You know, how? What does that mean? You know, talk about horns a little bit.
Well, I don't want to say too much because I want to leave the message of the song open to interpretation for the listener.
Okay. So who produced it?
Me.
Okay.
100%.
All right.
All the way. Most of my stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I won't say all of it, but 95% of my material is written, produced, mixed, mastered, top to bottom. It's all me. I shoot the visuals. I shoot the artwork. I do it all, top to bottom.
Wow.
100% in control.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how'd you come up with the whole process? How was the process? You know,
Well,
what made you call it the horns and
right. Well, I was thinking initially, how did it start? I know I started out with the instrumental. It was the instrumental first.
Okay.
And I wanted to create something that was my intention to create an anthem, a song that was going to be the embodiment of, like, if there's one song you could play that is everything that is the Khidd Kinetic, it's the horns. You know, it's horns all day. So I needed something that was doing that. And in the last thing, I've got 2 albums out. So each song has like that song. I mean, each album has that song that is like, this is the new anthem, right? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to lay something out already. So when I come through, they already know the anthem.
Okay.
I wanted to preset that. And the album was supposed to roll out very shortly after that, but there was all kinds of hiccups along the process. There was a lot of technical difficulties. We've had 2 crashes in the last 2 years. Well, yeah, since 2019. So we've had 2 crashes in the last 2 years.
Wow.
We lost some files and had to start things over. That involves what do you call it? Features. The albums that we're working on, some visuals that we're working on. We lost stuff. So yeah, there was a couple, like there was a feature that I did for I gotta think about this because I know this will release. I did a feature for Amin Tahir, right? And I had to do it twice. Well, I had already done it twice. I had 2 versions of the song, and then I had a crash, and I had the demo versions of it, but I couldn't mix and I couldn't mix and master because I had the stem files, so I had to start all over and redo the song. So I was like, do I want to redo both versions, or do I want to pick a version and be like, that's the one I like, that's the one I'm redoing? And that's ultimately what I ended up doing. And so
you redid it?
It took me way too long to finish that song and send it back, but luckily for me, I ended up getting it back just in time. So
is it out yet?
No.
Okay.
Not at this point while we're recording this, but by the time this, no, it's not out. It probably still won't be out.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, so you say you have the Up remix. Make sure I go get horns now.
Stream that, download that, whatever, however you like to do it. Oh yeah, put that in your playlist. Keep me number 1 in your playlist. Especially, I'm an Aries. I was born in April. My birthday's April 9th. If you're an Aries, that's your anthem. I made that anthem for you. That's the Aries anthem. Give them the horns. You got the horns. Rock the mugs. You dig?
Yeah, I heard of the kid, man.
Yes. Make me number 1 in your playlist. But yeah.
So
on all platforms.
All platforms. Make sure I go get that now.
Mm-hmm.
So you just released the Up remix.
Up remix is out.
Okay.
It's happening. I got my new single is out on all platforms. I did an Up remix is SoundCloud exclusive. I like to do that from time to time. I like to do remixes. That's not something that I didn't start doing that up until recently. Mm-hmm. But now that I'm doing it, I'm addicted to it. So every once or twice a year, I'll drop a remix. So I did a SoundCloud exclusive remix and then a worldwide single release. So the new single is called Want. The concept of that is when you want something, you gotta go get it. A lot of people like to sit around and be like, one day Okay, how much are you working towards that dream, that goal on a daily basis? You know what I mean? Like, if you're putting effort into making that happen, to chasing that, then yes, one day. But if you're just sitting around going, one day, nah, sorry, bro. If you want what you want, you gotta get it. You gotta take it. You know? So that's the message there.
So when is that gonna come out?
Well, it will be out in 2 weeks at this point. But when this drops, it'll be out already. So, and there's a B-side to that called 33. And the reason why is because this double single, is the 33rd worldwide release on all major platforms.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. Well, with the exception of like the newer platforms like Tidal and stuff, they all need a back release. We're gonna do back releases for those platforms. We're gonna go back and remix and remaster the old albums and re-release them. But yeah, as far as tracks go, if you count the tracks, this is 33 and 34 happening right here. But yeah, the B side is called 33 because this is the 33rd release. You know, it's 32 up until this point.
Okay. Let's see.
Original, not including remixes.
All right, y'all boys, make sure y'all look out for that track now.
Check it out. Stream that heavy rotation.
Is it gonna be on all platforms?
That on your playlist. It don't gotta be number one, but yeah, all platforms. My favorite platform is Spotify because then that way I can share playlists with my fans and supporters the way that I want them to experience the music. So if you're just coming in now and you're just finding me at this up remix want phase, I want you to hear, I have a playlist that's the Khidd Kinetics playlist on Spotify. Listen to that, and that'll give you the whole catalog. It'll introduce you to who I am and what I do. That's the way I want you to experience. That's the way I want you to be introduced to me. Or you can go on YouTube and check my YouTube playlist. I have an audio and a visual playlist now on YouTube, so check that out. Super dope.
Okay, y'all make sure y'all go check it out for the kid, Okay.
Khidd Kinetic. Search me up. Follow, subscribe, stick around, stay tuned. Because if you think this stuff is hot, you ain't seen nothing yet. Just wait on it.
Your top 3.
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive.
Greatest artist of all time. Oh, that's terrible.
And I'm not saying that, what's in the books. I'm saying yours,
Me personally, I have to put Prince at number 1. Okay. Dead or alive. He's the greatest artist of all time.
Wow.
And the reason I say that is because there isn't a soul alive who is able to do, who's genre free like that man and can do all styles of music, can sing, can rap, can whatever you need to be done, that man can do it. He is, if music was a person, it's Prince. You feel me? Nobody has more. I'm not gonna say more hits. I don't even, screw all that. Nobody has more music than this man, released or unreleased. Nobody's competing with Prince. So that's why. And even if you did have as many albums as Prince, guarantee you didn't produce, write, and do everything top to bottom by yourself like that man does. So that's why he's number 1 on my list. Nobody of all time. Nobody else can say they've written all of their hits. Nobody else can say they've produced all of their hits by themselves. Mix, master, engineer, and the whole thing. This man put his own tour together. He ain't need no label for that. He was the first artist to break away from labels and be like, I'm going independent. And I'm going to go to award shows and tell people that I'm independent and here's why. And make sure you own your masters. And he was looking out for artists at king of music in my eyes.
Wow.
King of music. Top to bottom.
Okay. So Prince.
Pop, rock, soul, R&B, funk, especially funk. That man's got it in the bag. In the bag all day. Number 1. Number 2, I have to give it to Beyonce. Of all time, dead or alive, I give it to Beyonce.
Beyonce? Oh, wow.
Now, here's why. Because nobody, once again, is mixing up styles like she is. Nobody has the vocal ability that she has and is rapping and singing and is so fucking cold at doing both.
Mm-hmm.
This woman she might not be writing every word. She might not be producing every song. But to be honest with you, I don't think there is a female who's doing that. I don't think there is one. And if I'm wrong, somebody better check me and let me know and put me up on game because I want to find out who this is. But I don't think. Yes, there is.
Who?
Her.
Okay.
She's new, but she's new. So she's got some work to do before she can be the greatest artist of all time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But she's cold. I have major respect for her. I got major respect. I'm so sorry that I spaced that you are slaying in the lab, okay? But yeah, she slays. But back to Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. From the age of, when did Destiny's Child come out? 96, 97? She was, forget her age. She was a teenager, is the point. She was not even an adult, and she was writing. You know what I mean? So her pen game is cold. She be writing. She can produce. Her production game is cold. She can do all of that, and she's hands-on with everything. She's calling the shots on everything. She might not be doing everything herself, but whoever's doing it, she's telling them exactly how to do it.
Yeah, she talk with them.
Big boss.
Oh, dang.
Big boss. Ain't nobody more bossed up than Beyonce. Come on now. Ask anybody in Hollywood. I bet you that when Beyonce walked down the street. Let me stop. But yeah, she's great. On stage, in the studio, like nobody puts on a live performance like Beyonce. Nobody can dance like she can, male or female. Not alive right now. Wow. Not alive right now, male or female. Nobody can put on a live show like that woman can. She's the greatest entertainer alive.
Wow.
Number 3 on my list is the greatest entertainer of all time, male or female, dead or alive, Mr. Michael Jackson, the king of pop.
Okay.
I don't have to tell you why. The number 1 best-selling album of all time. For a period of time, he had the number 1 and number 2 best-selling album of all time, and that's saying a whole lot. He had the number 1 best-selling single of all time for a little while with Billie Jean, and that was killer. But that's been people as time goes on, people starting to snatch up the Michael Jackson records, but nobody had held and broken as many records as that man had in no amount of time. Granted, his career is 40 years long, and he was basically born into it. That's an unfair advantage. But hey, it is what it is. The man has a rap sheet. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's got what Michael's got, period. And I don't think anybody's ever going to get it. There will never be. People keep saying it, and hopefully the more we say it, the more we can solidify it. There will never be another Thriller. I don't want anybody to pass that up. Now, Thriller changed the game because now everybody's got to have multiple styles of music. You gotta be genre bending. That's one thing I love about Prince and Michael. They're genre benders. They love pop, rock, hip hop, R&B, all styles of music. All styles of music. And every album has every style of music. You see what I'm saying? And so it's like, if you want to get the biggest, like, you know what I mean, like the best package deal, that's where it's at. Artists like that who can be flexible and morph back and forth like that. That's where it's at.
I got you. So we got Prince, Beyonce, and MJ.
The great Michael Jackson.
Okay.
That's right.
So just think about it. If you were to put Prince and Michael Jackson in a versus battle, who would you think, the best 10, give them 10 songs each? Give them 10 songs each. Who either we could do 5 songs.
That makes it harder. The less songs, the worse it gets for me, man. Shit.
5, their best 5 songs. They got 5 songs. And they could perform. They
could perform?
Yeah, they got a stage. You got 5 songs.
Fuck. Well, I mean, if you're putting anybody up against Michael Jackson, you have to go with hits.
Okay.
So there's no really other way to do it than to get the Billboard hits. So it's got to be the greatest hits versus the greatest hits. It can't
For
be,
sure.
it can't be the best songs versus the best songs.
I got you.
Because I've tried this scenario in my head, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, nah. People, my reaction, I could put that together, and I'll be like, okay, it'll come out this way. But other people's reactions will be like, nah. We didn't know half of them songs that Prince was playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's
Mhm.
like, nah, okay, all right,
I
fine.
got you.
So yeah, you have to do hits versus hits, and you got to you got to do 10. You can't do less than 10 because come on, these guys were slaying. Number one, both of them were like bing, taking turns and shit
Mhm.
from the
Okay.
80s through the 90s. That's 2 whole decades that they were on top and nobody could fucking touch them. So it's like, damn. All right, 5 from the 80s for Mike and Prince, 5 from the 90s for Mike and Prince. You put them together, you get Michael, Billie Jean, Beat It, Thriller, Bad, stay in the 80s. I need one more from the Bad album because I got 3 from Thriller. What's the joint? Like The Way You Make Me Feel. That's a bop. That gets people jumping. And then for Prince, you got to do 1999. Like that was a fucking anthem forever. You got to do. You got to do Kiss. That's definitely a Prince staple. You got to do Purple Rain. You got to do Let's Go Crazy. Let's Go Crazy, I think, is the opener. Either 1999 or Let's Go. It's got to be Let's Go Crazy. Let's Go Crazy, the opener. And then, what's another, like, major... Because Prince has got so many songs, it's hard to narrow them down.
When Doves Cry.
Yeah, When Doves Cry is a jam. But then again, it's like this. Yeah, he had more albums than Michael did in the 80s, too. So it's like you can jump different albums and do, like, Raspberry Beret or, you know, because that's a... When people hear that on the radio, they're stuck. Man, there's so many. But then you go to 90s, you could do Michael, Black or White, Remember the Time, Scream with Janet. If we're going to throw in some features, can we do features?
That's fine, we can do features.
They Don't Care About Us. What's that song? That R. Kelly song. You're Not Alone. That was his last number 1 hit. That's got to be on that set. Prince for the 90s, Most Beautiful Girl in the World versus You Are Not Alone would be like that'd be a great match. So he's definitely got to do Most Beautiful Girl in the World. I just want to hear Endorphin Machine because I think that would match well with Black or White. And it's a rock bop to rock bop, so that makes sense. You got to do Diamonds and Pearls. That was like a Prince staple of the 90s. Diamonds and Pearls. You got to do Cream because that was a major smash off the album. And you got to do Get Off because that song, when that motherfucker come in with that wail, when he gets to screaming, oh shit, that's when you know it's a rap. It's a rap. Michael Jackson does not have one song. Sorry, y'all. Michael Jackson does not have one song that can compete with Get Off or Endorphin Machine on a vocal level. Not one.
On a vocal. So you're saying Prince sang better than Michael on that song?
I'm not saying sang better. I don't know. I think Michael probably had a better vocal ability, like better vocal control. But Prince definitely had a much bigger vocal range. I think Prince's vocal range was like twice the size of Michael's because Prince could be all the way down here talking to you like this was his speaking voice was all the way down here, a whole lot of bass, and I can just get a little closer to the mic to be a little more extreme because his voice was really like low down here, so you'd have to be close to the mic for you to hear him. He's just real relaxed, real deep voice, so he could sing down there if you need him to. Michael would never. I don't think he had that frequency in his throat, you know. And then he could take it from there all the way up to like a Mariah Carey like
Who, Prince?
whistle. Yeah. Oh man. Oh boy. He really gets crazy in the 90s. You got to go to the 90s. That's where he was doing a lot of screaming in the 80s, but he is hitting them fucking notes in the 90s. He's got a song called what's the best one? Well, I mean, there's two from the 90s. Get Off with that scream, but then Endorphin Machine with vocal range, but then he also does a scream there too. But it's not just like random screaming. It is so well tuned. Without auto-tune. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, holy shit. So talk about demon and screaming. I don't know. You might have to put Prince up against Steven Tyler. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't know. In the versus battle, 10 for 10, I feel like Michael would win.
I got
He's
you.
The greatest of all time. Michael's gonna take the cake.
I got you.
But me personally, just putting 10 songs to 10 songs or 50 songs to 50 songs, Prince is going to body anybody all day, every day. Because no matter what you got, he got a song to match it. Don't matter.
I got you.
No matter what you got. So, scary stuff. I think Michael just had more like up-tempo stuff. Like that, like he had faster songs that could make you want to move a little more because Michael Jackson was a dancer.
For sure.
You know what I mean? He was an entertainer. He was a performer, so he needed some shit he could bust down to, and that motherfucker get nasty. Ooh, Michael was mean as hell on that stage, boy, I tell you. But yeah, and Prince was more of, he was more of like playing the guitar, playing the piano. He's more like on the instruments than he was. I mean, he could dance too. He could put together a choreographed routine too. But he was more so just, he wanted you to feel something in the music. And Michael Jackson wanted you to feel something in the music, but he wanted you to see something too. He want to have your ears, your eyes, your heart, your soul. He want to just completely like get you. You know what I'm saying? Did it cut?
So for everybody who's out there, some people want to know, what's your relationship status? Are you
single?
Are you single? Yeah.
Single as hell, dog.
Okay.
Yeah, and loving it. Some of my associates, I don't want to call some of them friends, but people be like going through this thing where they're just getting out of relationships, and they're like, do you think it's better to be in a relationship or better to be single? Do you think you can truly be happy in like asking me questions like that? And I'm just like, yeah, being single is definitely where it's at. And that's always going to be my answer for that. I don't think... I spent 9 years in relationships. Like, one was 7 years, and then I jumped right from that into a 2-year relationship, like, real quick. So this is the first time in my life that I've really been able to... I'm 24, by the way.
Okay.
So this is the first time in my life, do the math, that I've been able to, like, really be alone.
I feel you.
And now that I'm getting a taste of that shit, oh, yeah, this is what real freedom feels like. I'm not giving that up for nothing.
Yeah.
For nobody, son. What you mean? Nope. So sorry. I free. But I love it. I'm so happy.
So are you looking what are you looking? You looking for a relationship?
I'm looking for friendships. I like to have friends around. And if friendships come with benefits, then that's cool too. I'm not gonna fight that. I'd be crazy to be like, well, I mean, obviously depending on who it is. But yeah. So I'm open-minded.
Okay, I got you.
I definitely don't want to do anything, no monogamous commitments at all coming from me for at least the next 4 years.
Oh, yeah?
I just need time to breathe, man. Just a little moment to just live a little.
I feel you.
Oh, yeah, this is the perfect moment to just make this announcement, you know what I'm saying? I just want to let y'all know and let you know, because you're going to have to be on it too. I'll let you know. All right, you finna ride this campaign with me. Let's go. So, this summer, 2021, is Hot Boy Summer. So, just to let you know, if you don't know what Hot Boy Summer is, it ain't too different from Hot Girl Summer, but it's just the boys' version of it's Hot Boy Summer. Do what makes you feel like you're living your best life. You know what I mean? Like, it's time, like, start now. Fuck the summer. It's Hot Boy Spring in this bitch. We gonna ride it out through the summer until niggas get cold and run in the house. But yeah, man, like live your best life. Hot Boy Summer, like whatever it is that you want to live. Fuck everybody. That's the energy you gotta have. Like it's all about what's going to make me happy. I'm going to do what I want to do. I don't care about that person's judgment. I don't care about that person's approval or acceptance. Like, what is that person even doing for me? Like, I got to live my life the way that's going to make me happy, as opposed to continuously trying to please every fucking body, because that's never gonna work. Everybody's always gonna have, as long as you're trying to please this person, that person's gonna be mad at you. And as long as you're trying to balance the two of them, they're like, oh, somebody's always gonna have a problem, bro. So make you happy. You know what I'm saying? Go out there, and if you want to turn up and just be smashing chicks, if that's your hot boy summer, just do that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, do it safely, responsibly, respectfully. Don't be out here being reckless, treating people like ass, you know what I mean? Because you make sure you want to protect your image and your body, your health.
True.
And the health and images and bodies of others. You know, don't be an asshole, but live your best life. That's what it is, man. So hop on the trend, man. Hot boy summer.
Hot boy summer.
Hot boy summer.
You have to hashtag that thing, man.
Hashtag hot boy summer. That's what we call it now. Yeah. So I woke up this morning feeling absolutely euphoric because I'm free from a lot of the bullshit relationships that I was tied into. Not to say that the last relationship that I was in was a bullshit or toxic relationship. Like, that girl is, like, cool as hell. She's still my best friend. She's probably going to always be my best friend. So, like, we're cool, you know. But just that situation was a little restraining for the both of us. It was stopping us from being able to, like, really move the way we wanted to, because there were, you know, she had 2 kids, you know. Okay. And so, you can't work as much as you want to, because you got to figure out each other's schedules and figure out the babysitter situation or the daycare situation. And then it's like, doing that is going to cost you money, because then you got to pay the daycare or the babysitter, you know what I mean? And so it's like getting used to that. Like, it was a great learning experience. Yeah. It was definitely, like, I love those kids, man. Oh my goodness. Like, I really look forward to doing that again, like the parenting thing, like molding young minds. Like, oh, that's fun. That's a thrill right there. But it's gonna be a little while. I'm gonna wait a little while, but I can't. I'm excited to do that again. That was awesome. Awesome experience, the relationship. But friendships, business relationships, there was certain things that were just not happening for me. Certain people who were costing me money when they were supposed to be helping me make money. There's certain people, you know, wasting time when they were supposed to be valuing time.
I got you.
Certain things that were just not healthy, certain things that were too toxic for me to continue to allow. And some of these situations I got comfortable with, and I allowed them to continue way longer than I should have. With some of these situations, it was like, some people are explosive, and they have very, like they're vengeful people who, when they feel like it's not even like you crossed them or disrespected them, because some people, like, feel like they have ownership over you, you know? And if you try to separate from them, they feel like that in itself is like a form of treason or a crime, like you've done something to them by trying to remove yourself from them, you know? And that's the kind of stuff I don't know how, you know, it's tough to try to maneuver around. So I had to strategically end those relationships, and it was stressful trying to figure out how to get out of them, but it was more stressful being in them, you know. So shit like that is gone, and I feel free. And I feel great, and there's nobody who, I don't have to deal with anybody, to be honest. I deal with who I feel like dealing with at this point. There's nobody who I feel like I'm like, damn, I gotta deal with this person or else, you know what I mean? That's no longer a factor in my life. I'm 100% free. I'm liberated. And I'm focused. I can focus on what matters now. I'm very happy.
Okay.
You want what you want, gotta get it, gotta take it. Ain't nobody giving handouts, boy, you gotta take it. When you want what you want, gotta sweep it, gotta rake it. Ain't nobody giving handouts, girl, you gotta take it. What's up? Hey.